Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That's J News coming back at you. They just make me a news channel. Breaking news! Breaking news! Donald Trump. Donald Trump. It just seems like I'm doing all. I'm reporting the news now. There's just so much going on. Donald Trump. I was watching the ABC News this morning, and they said that um, if you guys heard a few months back, they were talking about it in April, early part of the year, about Donald Trump was talking about deporting criminals to El Salvador. Now they came on the ABC News this morning and said that um, they're gonna they're gonna approve they're possibly going to approve that bill of violent criminals being deported to other countries. Like they have some type of understanding agreement with certain other countries to take our violent criminals. And they're in talks of passing this. It came on the ABC News this morning. For some reason, I Googled it because it said they were talking about El Salvador, but then they mentioned another country. And when I went to Google it, maybe it hasn't reached Google yet, but when I went to Google it, I couldn't find it. Maybe because it was just, it's about a little after 10 now. So it was playing like 6 something this morning. So maybe maybe it hasn't quite reached Google yet. But I'm faster than Google. But yeah, they were talking about passing that law that our violent criminals that are presumed to be violent, will be deported. Will be able, if the United States has an agreement with that country, to take the United States violent criminals. Y'all better, you violent men out there, that cannot control your temper, you better get some therapy and some anger management. Because y'all better start thinking twice before you go to shooting up folk. Before you go to shooting up folk and trying to unalive folk, you better think twice. Because they're going to ship your little butt off to El Salvador. And you think your family going to have a hard time contacting you now in United States prison, mess around and go to El Salvador. Mess around and get deported to El Salvador or Mexico. And I'm sure that those prisons are a lot harsher than in the United States. These prisoners here in the United States are spoiled. They spoiled. Then prisons in El Salvador? Mexico? Then prisons in those other countries are a lot more stricter. They're a lot more stricter than the United States. They're a lot more harsh than United States prisons, because really, the prisons here in the United States are pretty. They, like I said, these prisoners are spoiled. They spoiled. Even the hardened criminals are spoiled. Yeah, because they do have different levels. Even the level 4 prisons, they spoiled. Now I can understand the ones that like level 2, because there's different levels. I can understand, the non-violent offenders, you know, them, you know, taking it, them being a little easier on them, letting being a little bit more lenient on them. But violent offenders like rapists and child molesters and murder unalivers, murderers. Can I say murderers on here? People that commit violent crimes. There's a possibility that your little butt can get shipped to El Salvador in Mexico, or some other country. They ain't gonna cut you no slack over there. Might be forced to do hard labor, might be subjected to beatings. Yeah, yeah. So you guys out here with these bad tempers, these men walking around with these bad tempers. I just heard a case the other day that this man, Willie D talking about that. This man unalived a man. He unalived a man for talking to his girlfriend. He unalived a man for talking to his girlfriend. He caught the man talking to his girlfriend, and he shot him and unalived him. Can you believe that? Okay, I'm like, you idiot. I said, that's stupid. I said, because now you're not even going to have access to your girlfriend. And guess what? She's going to go date someone else. You think she's going to wait for you for 30 years? No, that's straight up manslaughter. No, that's first degree murder, isn't it? That's life imprisonment. You think she gonna wait? You think she gonna wait on you? She ain't gonna wait on you. She gonna move on with her life and hook up with another man, stupid. And you may possibly get shipped to El Salvador, guy. That was stupid. See, these guys be making rash decisions, and just basically, and they say that women are emotional. They said that we're emotional, and no, men are emotional. Men are very sensitive. They say we all sensitive and emotional. No, women are not going around. Now some women do commit violent crimes. Some women do hurt people. Some women do unalive people. But in most cases, it's men going around committing these violent crimes, going around unaliving people. This man, I'd heard another case of a man. I'm trying to figure out what city this happened in. I just heard about it the other day. This man shot a woman and her 5 kids. I think it was somewhere, I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't know what happened. I think it was somewhere down south. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't even know the whole story. I just know that the man shot her. She was on vacation in a minivan. I guess her and the children was on vacation, and she wasn't even living in that city, and her boyfriend. They say she rolled up on him. They say she popped up on him. She rolled up on him. I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but he shot her and her 5 children. One of the children passed away. There's 2 of them in critical condition. Who does that? Who does that? Who shoots? Children are innocent. Who shoots children? And she had a 1 year old. They were different ages. She had a 1 year old. Who does that? Who shoots a baby? Who shoots little children? Who does that? Who does that? You have to really be a messy, evil piece of work to do something like that. I don't want to hear nothing about no mental health. He's got a black heart. He's got a black hole in his heart. Who does that? You have a black hole for a heart to blatantly unalive a child. You have a hole in your heart. Who does that? That's just pure evil. Satan that took over your whole entire body and your brain. He he took over your soul. Who does that? Who does that? But who does it to anybody? Like that man unalive that man for talking to his girlfriend. Okay, this man had loved ones. He had a mother. He had loved ones. Just because the man was talking to your girlfriend, not your wife, your girlfriend. Who does that? Now he's going to be spending the rest of his life in prison. And he might get shipped to El Salvador. The one that shot the woman and the 5 children, you may be getting shipped to El Salvador, buddy. Yeah, he said violent criminal. And guess who is going to be first on the list? Black men. Yes, black men. Black violent criminals. Black male violent criminals. That's the ones we want to get out of here. They're going to be the first to go. You trust and believe what I'm saying. They're gonna be the first to go. So you black men out here that got anger issues, you better get some help. You better get into some therapy. They got community health centers all over the country. And they have a sliding fee if you have trouble of paying for it. There's no excuse. Get some help. Get control of your anger. Because you guys keep going around and thinking that, oh, you're going to go to prison and get 3 hots in a cot and you're going to have an easy life. You might mess around and get shipped to El Salvador, forced to do hard labor, and may possibly be subjected to beatings. I don't think they like black people. Do they like black people in El Salvador? And you a criminal on top of that? These men women, particularly men, better think twice before you go out and do something on impulse. They need to put that on a billboard. The only thing that I'm concerned about is if somebody gets falsely accused, particularly black men. If a black man gets falsely accused of committing a violent crime that he didn't commit, they could be shipping innocent men off to other countries because black people we all know how the justice system is. Black people is mostly unfair, and a lot of times black men don't get the due process like they should, and you have a lot of black men that's sitting in prison for stuff that they didn't do. They was falsely accused of things that it's been happening historically in this country. And that's my concern, that innocent black men will be shipped off to foreign countries because they was accused of committing a violent crime. That's and women too, because black people gonna be first to go. If you get falsely accused of committing a violent crime, And I mean, what is presumed as violent? I mean, or at some point he can wind up saying that if you commit any crime, who's to say? Congress is just letting this man do whatever. Who knows? Next thing you know, black people might be on the list to get deported. I don't know. It's unconstitutional to deport the American United, but Congress is. I don't know if they're being paid off or. And folks are starting to complain about Congress now. Folks are starting to complain about Congress now because Congress is not doing their job. They're not doing their job. They're just letting this man do whatever. And he don't. Donald Trump don't seem to be facing any consequences for letting that bomb off, and he wasn't supposed to. It was unconstitutional for him to let that bomb off on Iran, and he doesn't. I haven't heard anything. I don't know. Let me know in the comments section, but I haven't heard anything about him being subjected to any consequences for that. They just at this point they're like, oh well, really? You're putting millions of Americans' lives in danger? They ain't said nothing about no consequences for Donald Trump doing that. So they're just letting this man do whatever. Just letting him do whatever. So who knows? They might be trying to get black folks out of here next. I want to go first class on the cruise ship. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. Yes, Google it. Google it. They're thinking about passing that bill of having violent criminals shipped off to El Salvador. So hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.